What if I told you there's a commodity that's being produced 24 hours a day, consumed the instant it's created, and has a multi-billion-dollar market behind it, but most people have never heard of it? Would you believe me? That commodity is hash rate. It's what powers the Bitcoin network, and there's an entire financial market built around it with forwards, futures, hedging strategies, the whole thing. By the end of this video, you're going to understand all of it, even if you've never touched a financial derivative in your life. Let's start from the very beginning. When most people think about Bitcoin mining, they might picture someone making Bitcoin. And that's sort of true. What miners really produce is computing power, specifically something called hash rate. Every Bitcoin miner on the planet is running specialized computers called ASICs. All they do is guess numbers, trillions of them per second, trying to find the one that seals the next block of Bitcoin transactions. The speed at which they guess is their hash rate. Bitcoin is what miners get paid in exchange for their hash rate production. And here's the mental model I need you to carry through the entire video. Hash rate is a commodity. Just like crude oil, just like corn, just like natural gas. Miners produce it, the Bitcoin network consumes it, and just like every other commodity on Earth, there's a market price for it. That price has a name, and it's the single most important number in all of Bitcoin mining. It's called Hashprice. Luxor coined the term back in 2019, and it's now the standard metric the entire mining industry uses to talk about revenue. If you run a lemonade stand, the number you care about most is the price of a cup of lemonade. If you pump oil, it's the price per barrel. If you're a Bitcoin miner, the number you live and die by is hash price. How many dollars you earn per petahash of computing power per day. Petahash is just a unit of computing speed. 1 petahash per second means 1 quadrillion guesses per second. The exact number doesn't matter. It's just how miners measure the size of their operation, the same way a farmer measures land in acres. One thing worth knowing, hash price comes in 2 flavors. USD hash price tells you how many dollars you're earning. BTC hash price tells you how much Bitcoin you're earning. They move differently because USD hash price is affected by Bitcoin's price, while BTC hash price is not. That distinction is going to matter a lot later when we talk about hedging. You can check the live hash price anytime on Hashrate Index. It's updated daily, and it's the benchmark that miners, traders, lenders, and investors all use. Think of it as the Bloomberg terminal for Bitcoin mining. So, miners produce hash rate, and hash price tells them what they're getting paid for it. Simple enough. But here's where it gets interesting, and a little scary if you're a miner, because hash price doesn't sit still. It moves around. A lot. Hash price is driven by 4 things at once, and they all move independently. Let's walk through each one. Number 1, Bitcoin's price. This is the most intuitive. When Bitcoin goes up, miners earn more dollars per hash. When it crashes, so does their revenue. Most people get this part. Number 2, network difficulty. This is the one most people outside of mining don't think about, and honestly, it might be the most important one. The Bitcoin network automatically adjusts how hard it is to mine a block roughly every 2 weeks. When more miners join, difficulty goes up, and each miner's slice of the pie gets thinner. When miners leave, difficulty drops and the remaining miners earn more. We'll come back to difficulty in a minute because it deserves its own deep dive. For now, just know, more competition means less revenue per miner. Number 3, the block subsidy. This is the amount of brand new Bitcoin created with every block, the reward miners get for doing the work. And it gets cut in half, roughly every 4 years, in an event called the halving. The most recent one, in April 2024, dropped it from 6.25 to 3.125 BTC. So, every 4 years, all else being equal, miners' revenue from new coins gets slashed in half. It's predictable, but it's painful. And number 4, network transaction fees. On top of the block subsidy, miners collect fees from everyone sending Bitcoin transactions. These fees spike when the network is congested. Think of it like surge pricing. They've been especially wild recently with things like ordinals and runes creating sudden, unpredictable demand for block space. One week fees are 2% of revenue, the next week they're 30%. Here's the key takeaway. All four of these are moving at the same time in independent directions at different speeds. Bitcoin price may be rallying while difficulty is also surging. Fees might spike for a week and then collapse overnight. The block subsidy is a known schedule, but everything else is noisy. The result? Hash price can swing $5 to $7 per petahash in a single month. For most mining operations, that kind of move is the difference between running profitably and operating at a loss. And if you're a miner trying to plan your business, budget for electricity, or pay back a loan on your machines, that kind of uncertainty is a serious problem. We'll get into solutions in another video, but first, let's zoom in on the most misunderstood piece of the puzzle. Bitcoin is designed to produce a new block roughly every 10 minutes. That's baked into the protocol. But the number of miners in the network is constantly changing. So how does Bitcoin keep that 10-minute rhythm? Every 2016 blocks, roughly every 2 weeks, the network checks, were blocks coming in faster than 10 minutes or slower? If faster, there's more hash rate on the network, so difficulty goes up to compensate. If slower, difficulty goes down. It's a self-correcting thermostat. Now here's why this hits miners' wallets. Think of each block reward as a pizza that's always the same size. When difficulty goes up because more miners joined, the pizza gets sliced into more pieces. Everyone gets a thinner slice. When difficulty drops because miners leave, fewer people are at the table, so bigger slices for everyone's still there. This is why Bitcoin's price going up doesn't automatically make miners richer. If the price doubles, but difficulty also doubles because of a flood of new machines coming online, the revenue per hash can stay flat. The network's balancing act is incredibly effective. Over Bitcoin's lifetime, difficulty has trended almost straight up, historically growing roughly 20% per month, though it has flattened to 4% growth in recent years. But there have been dramatic exceptions. When China banned mining in 2021, difficulty dropped over 50%. And just recently, in early 2026, we saw back-to-back drops that ranked among the 10 largest in modern Bitcoin history. These swings have real consequences. A sharp difficulty increase can turn a profitable operation unprofitable overnight. A sharp decrease can be a lifeline. And unlike Bitcoin's price, which every trader in the world is watching, difficulty is driven by factors specific to mining. Power costs, ASIC deliveries, seasonal energy patterns, even geopolitics. That's what makes difficulty the insider metric of Bitcoin mining. Everyone tracks Bitcoin's price, but if you understand how difficulty moves and why, you're already ahead of 99% of people who talk about this industry. Let's put it all together. Bitcoin miners produce hash rate, a digital commodity. They get paid in Bitcoin depending on the hash price. Hash price is driven by four things: Bitcoin's price, network difficulty, the block subsidy, and transaction fees. And difficulty is the self-correcting heartbeat of the whole system. Now here's where this gets really interesting. All that volatility we just talked about, it's a huge problem for miners trying to run a business. But it's also an opportunity because a whole financial market has emerged to help miners manage that risk. Forwards, futures, hedging strategies borrowed from oil, agriculture, and traditional commodities. In the next video, we're going to get into why this volatility is so dangerous for miners and what they can actually do about it. We'll talk about hedging, and I promise I'll make it make sense even if the word derivatives has always made your eyes glaze over. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.